Here we go. Recording starts.
Hello, everyone. It's Carina from Break Fear, Find Freedom. And today's part 2 of our pickleball saga. Let's call it a pickleball saga because this is the one where we're going to hear the fun stuff. The other one was cool, but this is the one we're going to hear the fun stuff. But before we start, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Does love conquer all?
Yes.
On that note, we will speak to Niko N Christie Fronimos are here again with us. So hello, how are you guys today?
Good, how are you? It's lovely to see you again.
It's lovely to see you as well. And I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you're here. And so before we start, I just want to say congratulations on your anniversary. I have to tell you, I have to say that on air, right? And then you were telling me a story, which is so cool because just let me give you a bit of backstory of what we had before we started the show, is that we were having a problem getting into this beautiful couple getting into screen, right, into the frame. And then we found out that there was a reason for that because there's a story behind the hole in the couch. So please tell us about this couch.
Well, let's hear. So last year, it's a 1-year anniversary today. And it was emotional for me because a year ago today, my father was on this couch. We just got this house and he was here. And there was no couch here. We had our old dining room chaise. Okay, so it was uncomfortable, and they were sitting here and they were dancing. And what I was talking to my wife today, and here's leading the story, is that my dad was dancing to a Greek song, and I posted on Facebook. It was a year ago, and I thought it was awesome. And I remembered all the times I let him down where things that just didn't go right, and I wanted to be the proud son and bring home, honor and dignity. And then I did everything kind of sideways. So I remember those days when he was dancing and I was crying because it was the song, You Turn Mourning into Dancing is a song, and you turn graves into gardens. Because I've had my near-death experiences, and I remember my father being part of one where I was at my home and things happened. So it brings me to here, they bought this couch for me, and the first time it came, it was perfect. Just a little blemish on the corner. It was scratched, like someone hit it on the door. Needless to say, it was agreed upon by everybody that we turned the couch back. So the second one comes, and it was kind of we should have just kept it, but obviously the moral story is the second one comes and looked perfect. So I tipped the guy $20. I said, great, they're not even supposed to get tips because it's just a drop off. And then when they leave, I sit on the couch and it goes right to the bottom. It was completely broken. The whole thing is just, the worst couch ever. So it looked perfect. The first one was perfect, but it didn't get a blemish. This is a story now. The second one was broken and looked perfect. And the third one came and I sat on it and I did everything. It was like the middle beer, just, and I was like, you know what, we're just going to keep it. And then it's like life. I kept wanting to get better in my life in the past, trying to make money, and trying to elevate and trying to do things in my life. And at the end, I should have just kept what I had in the beginning. It's kind of weird, that analogy, that the couch.
Very weird.
That's the couch story. And we're sitting on the couch now. It's not bad. It just sinks in the middle. And
we're going down.
This is where we're at.
And it's perfect because that's sinking in the middle. You're perfectly in frame and you look perfect together, even more perfect together. So I love it, the way everything works out. And that analogy is really great because we always think that sometimes we don't look at the full picture, right? And sometimes we think that it should be something, but maybe it wasn't supposed to be that way anyway. So I'm going to throw the question to you because I was thinking about, Niko, I'll be with you in a minute. I was thinking about, Christie, how you found Niko. Niko?
Niko.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry. You found Niko. You found Niko, right? You discovered him. You found him, and you thought, "Haha, this is my person," right? So I'd like to ask you: does love conquer all?
I think so. I mean, we have a lot of love, and we've been through pretty much almost everything in the book that you can, a relationship can go through. So, and I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm blessed, like he said, like we're kind of on our God, just, we have a purpose.
The God.
We are the God.
Yeah.
We have a purpose. We're on a journey, and we're kind of leaving it all up to him. And it's kind of fun to see where this is taking us. But we know that, like, it takes the two of us.
Yes.
Like, without him, there's no me. Like, we're just the two of us.
Stronger together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just trying to bring the pickleball and the joy and everything, we're just, our list of who we want to play pickleball or to bring or to find God or this or that, the list is growing.
Yeah.
Because it's so many people.
It's all about someone else.
It's just,
it's not about us.
It's not about us anymore. We're kind of,
we're content. If God told me today that I'm going to spend the rest of my life just here in this room, that's it. That's fine. I trust his thing, but that's not what's happening. Literally from 2018, does love conquer all? That's all we have. There's no other plan. There's no plan B. There's no, let's fall back on this. This is all we have is love. Literally, we looked at each other in 2018 and we're in a sea of chaos. We got money coming in and we got money going out. And at the end of the day, what do you have? Do you have joy? It's not like we were raising kids and watching them go to college and saying, okay, we're going to put up with this because this is for the greater good. We didn't have that. And then I was being a child. And then in the Bible, it says, when I was a child, I did childish things. And I read now. I'm actually, for the first time in my life, I've actually listened to the entire Bible. I'm about 10 days away from finishing it, which is, I did the 365 days of the Bible with Father Mike Schmitz on Halo, which I recommend for everyone because it's free. And if you're into God, you need to listen to it from him because you need to listen to it instead of reading it. And if you're not into God, you need to listen to it so you could have ammunition against people that are Christian or into God. Because if you're just talking and saying, oh, the Bible's full of it and you never read it, it's exactly what I did. I used to be like, that couldn't have happened. Jonah couldn't have been in the whale. That couldn't have happened. Adam can't be the guy. I made excuses up and I never read it. And then I read it and I realized it's a personal story between God and me.
Yeah.
How I was born and how I was born on this earth and why I am important, what my purpose is. He actually talked to me while I'm listening to the T, to the point where we're, I don't know if you're a believer or not, or if you listen, because I used to be I was Greek Orthodox. I still am Greek Orthodox Christian. And let me explain to you what that entitles. I go to church for the high holidays. I fear God to holy hell, meaning don't kill anybody because that's bad. Plus you're going to go to jail. Everything else in between, well, I'm a guy, things happen. Oh, I was abused when I was 13, 14, and 15 years old. So I get a pass on a lot of stuff too. So I lived my life that way. And of course, divorce, losing, all the blessings led up. I see now the mosaic called life.
Nice.
How I was broken into a million pieces. And then I met this beautiful lamb in the chaos of the world. And I'm sitting in the nightclubs watching this beautiful lamb walking around. Well, what is she doing here? And all these wolves, men. And then when we met, we were both in a different, we're not who we were, is the best example to put it. And the only reason I could say is we're not who we were is because, pickleball brought me as a tool to happiness and joy. And it got me out of the frame of mind that nothing good happens to me, that I always lose. In the end, I always lose. I can do these great things. I become a millionaire at 30, and then by 38, I'm broke. And by 40, I'm addicted to cocaine. and the entire Greek community thinks I'm a laughing stock. And they said to me, and this is true, where's your Mercedes now? Where's your Rolex now? And how true they are, how right they are. But the one thing that never left me the entire time was God. Because there were times where I was on a ledge, looking over the ledge, 30, 40 stories up at an after party, and nothing was fun about this party for me. I was in a destitute despair. My son doesn't want to talk to me. My friends have passed me by. They don't. The few friends I have left, God takes them off the earth for a purpose. One dies of a cancer, unnecessary, leaves a 12-year-old girl behind. But then you start thinking, what's going on here? Then my other best friend dies of, he died before that. My friend died of heart attack. So and I'm in the midst of chaos and making money. I have no time. I'm a Greek Orthodox Christian. I go to church for Easter with my parents, and I have zero relationship with God. I don't understand all the jingling going on with the bells and the whistles, the singing and the chanting. They're not talking to me. I don't know what they're talking about. I have found in the last 10 years of my life the greatest people on earth. My wife, 13 years. My best friend who's in heaven right now. My dog, who's in heaven right now, who died last week. That was a big one. Of 14 years, 13 years of being alone in your mind and having something love you, unconditional. And then when I lost it, it all makes sense. Because with God, see, I couldn't have handled this 2 years ago or 3 years ago, or even a year and a half ago. But because of Jesus in my life, because of God, I can. But I've been tested again. And this is a great story because it gets the plot twist. I'm thinking I'm going to make this great impact in the world with pickleball and Greeks. And I'm going to go to Greece and I'm going to teach all these Greek people how to play pickleball. And that's all going to happen. But that's not my purpose. It's not even close. And I had no idea. I was blindsided by God in church. The light snapped on me and I was blindsided of what my true purpose is. And I can't believe it's that. But I'm sitting in church and I'm a born again Christian and I love this pastor. Everything he's saying is gold. But I noticed something different the last few months. He had a tragedy in his family. His son committed something, did something. So he took some time off and he's come back and he was different. Well, I have a history. My wife and I have a history. We did things that we were lost and we thought we were doing the right thing. We met some good people. Well, we met some good people and we did some stupid things with good people. Yeah. Okay, leave it at that. So we're in church and this is where it gets interesting. I'm thinking my dog just died. I really need to be here. Can't wait for Sunday. He died Sunday night. So it was a whole week of crying, 3 days of just gut-wrenching crying. I didn't stop our day one, which we'll talk about in a minute, which my wife and I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. We get on our mats, we pray to God, and then we run 2 miles, we start our day. We talk to God all day. He's been telling us what to do. And I know it sounds insane, but this is a person I used to do cocaine, do all this other stuff. And here I am doing this. And here I am in church waiting for this guy to say something. And he comes out and he says that basically God hates gay people. Basically what he said. And that if you listen, he didn't say those words, but he's saying, and mind you, my wife and I have worked in the gay industry, have gay friends. I have transsexual friends, lots of them. Where do you think I was at when I was in the gutter doing coke and drugs? And I was at the bottom with really good people that were being lied to by the devil. And I didn't believe there was a devil, but now I know there's a devil. Because I was in church and I saw good people that I love spewing hate, and they don't even know it. Like Jesus forgives everybody, including murderers. You just can't get over the guy making out with the other guy. You just can't get over it. You're telling me that the guy died on the cross for everybody except gay people. And I don't buy that because I've hung out with gay people. And by the way, our best friend, Jamie and Sal, they were at our wedding. They were the last people to leave our wedding. They're married. They drove us home. They wished us more health and happiness than anybody I've ever known. Jamie lost his battle to cancer a few years ago. And every year I see his husband gut-wrenching crying, my face next to me, in my hands. telling me he misses his husband. So if that's a sin, loving someone to the point where they're dead and you missed, then there is no such thing as what you believe in, because that's love. Love can't be a sin. There can't be, a house can't stand against it. Jesus committed miracles and they were calling him a demon, devil, Beelzebub. And he stopped and he said, how the devil can't work love, can't work miracles, he can't do, house can't stand against, he can't throw out demons. A demon can't throw out a demon. You understand? So when I see these people that are good and that's, and then I also had incredible stories, miracles with, on my nights, the devil, this is true story. The devil I would do cocaine at 2:00 in the morning, wherever I was at with my friend Augie, he'd be DJing and he couldn't watch me all night. So after, you know what they say, after 1:00 in the morning, nothing good happens. Well, you know, I'd do drugs and I'd be lost and I would leave my wife and the devil would make me go to these shady places in the middle of nowhere. And I'd find myself in shady situations. And I remember, it's incredible to talk about because I remember being there, and let's just put it this way. These people all were kind to me, helped me. Some were evil, like all people are evil, because when you tell someone they're crap and they're worthless and they're going to go to hell, well, what do you think their attitude is going to be? So here I am in church, and he says this, but I don't overreact. He's reading from Romans chapter 1, the last verses 20 through 38, the final, okay?
Yeah.
So we're going over it. He stops on the word homosexual. He stops and he drills it. It's like drilling it. And then he goes, oh yeah, porn and soft porn's bad too. But he's drilling. And then he goes, but I give him the chance because this guy, you know, and then while he said it, he says, well, marriages shouldn't be allowed. Or if you're going to a marriage, a gay marriage, why would you invite me? He says. Now he's talking to 700 grandparents. When I was in the mix with these people that people call sinners, who do you think was saving them? Their grandparents were sending them money or saving them. Mm-hmm. And they get married to someone they love because they finally found in this world of SHIT, a soulmate, which God said, man should not be alone. And then it'll lead me to the other thing about that, but man should not be alone. And then it occurred to me that in Leviticus, because I'm reading the Bible now, I'm getting ammunition. I'm not just talking anymore, some fool idiot who doesn't know what he's talking about. I Googled this. I went back home from the priest. He was on, and by the way, he wasn't on real life. He was on the video screen. So he did this.
Okay.
He told 700 people, why would you invite me to tell if you're getting invited to your grandson's wedding, your question should be, why do you want me there? To your grandson or your son or your friend who invited you. Yeah. And then we're talking about the parable of the banquet.
So let's just bring this in. So now, Niko, because we're talking so many things and I don't want to use all the threads. Okay. Tell me what happened after that? So you got this realization, right? And then what did you do? Because
I went back home. This is what happened. I went back home and I prayed for 4 days. I know it sounds crazy because I used to be a drug addict and I used to be obsessive compulsive. So I was terminally ill with despair and with the devil. He wouldn't leave me alone. He still talks. You get voices in your head and now it's like, I'm good. I got God. But we're going to do great things. And I understand that because, you know, when you're afflicted by young from a sexual abuser, okay? I was sexually molested from someone close by my godfather, who's a big deal in the Greek Orthodox Church. Huge. He's the guy who, if your parents die, takes over. He's a big deal. You know, he's the guy who baptized you in the name of God. But the crazy part of that was my parents didn't even know him. We were at the church, and in Greek Orthodox Church, the priest puts the baby up and they said, who wants to baptize him? And my parents had their friend there waiting. And this guy ran up from the side and grabbed my foot. And he was well known in the community and well known in the church. And he's done it with other people. So they figured, okay, now he seemingly was a perfect Christian till 13, 14 years old in my life. And then things started at 13 years old when I started getting puberty, and I was noticing I was shorter than everybody else. And I wanted to fit in, and I wanted to be with girls. And then my brother's my brother's girlfriend at the time passed away tragically, and the house was in chaos. And then the devil stepped in, and he said, I got it. And this guy would take me and show me driving, and then take me home and show me gay porn at 14 years old. Can tell me things about the future, about how I'm going to get all this money from him, and he's going to take care of me, and all this stuff. And then he was at one point he took me to the Kellogg's factory to show me how the Kellogg's is done. I thought it was most awesome. And then unbeknownst to me, he had a whole room set up, and he was trying to have sexual affairs with me. And it was weird. I'm bits and pieces are falling up, and I remember other people being there now, which is freaking me out. And I remember being in the bathroom at 15 years old, and I was about 5'5", and I weighed 120 pounds. I didn't have puberty yet. Because now you look at me and I'm 6'3", 200, and I could do some damage. I work out every day, and that wasn't what I was thinking. I was thinking at the time that I think I wanted it, because I was having confused gay thoughts at the time. I didn't know, because this guy was doing it for a year, so I didn't know if I liked it, if I didn't like it. All I knew is that God told me no. I was in that bathroom, and every thought I had, God stopped me. And then I have no idea how I got home. In other words, we drove back to Chicago, and I have no idea how. So I know nothing happened, but I don't know how I got out of there, because he was knocking on the door heavy, like, why are you in there? And then here I am. Yeah, isn't that big wow?
That makes you understand why you started with the drugs and the alcohol and whatever, because obviously you had to mask all that pain. But I just want to mention one thing. Yes. I want to mention something that you there's something different about you guys as well. Your whole energy is different from the last time. Okay, of course, maybe you were more nervous, right? But you just so more relaxed and right. So it's you just. I have to say that you're just actually beautiful. You're shining.
Oh, good.
That's not the right word, but I don't mean.
What they say there is that you get this glow.
Yes, you are radiating.
Yeah.
No one believes in the word no more if someone tells you that I've witnessed this miracle. Like I died, and I felt like I've died before more than once, and then doing drugs and being. By the way, I overdosed. I'm not proud of these things. I'm telling you because God chose me. I overdosed twice in the hospital where I woke up and people were like, John Doe, why do you want to die? And I lied because I knew all the lies. The devil tells you all the lies. And I said, I was at a bar, and the next thing you know, some girl was talking to me and my wallet's missing. How did I get here? And they're like, they got to let you go. They have to let you go because you were a victim, and they don't want to deal with the victim. Get out of here. You want a police report? I said, no, so leave. Listen, you know all the secrets when you're doing the evil stuff. What I'm bringing to the point was that I went back home and I thought about it and I prayed about it. And I said, God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I said, God, you know what? I trust you, because now we trust God in everything, like everything. Like we know our whole future, and he already told us. And it's because when you're doing the same thing over and over again, it's Aristotle once said, man cannot predict the future, but man can consecutively do something every day and in return predict his future, because by consecutive work you will get the results. Yes. Hence, when you go to college for 6 years and you want to be a doctor, guess who's going to be a doctor? So we're putting the work in, we know what we're doing, and we know where we want to go. And here's where I'm at. And I go to church and I'm praying on it and I stop. So we continue reading the Bible by phone. On the way to church, we end on Romans 1, the end of the chapter, right where he left off. literally where he left off. So we're on Romans 2, and so is he, the same day. And he's live, he's there, not a camera anymore. And if you ever read the Bible, you'll know that when, I'm not trying to compare anything, but this is a sign, because Jesus, when he went back home to Nazareth and he was preaching, he read from Isaiah 59, Isaiah, where he was prophesizing. So I'm going in here, and this guy, instead of starting on Romans 2, he goes back and he goes, let's talk more about depravity. And he brings up homosexuality again. And then he says, we're not going to stand here and let them throw their parades and just deal with it. Now, my best friend, Augie De La Rosa, who's the reason I'm in Florida, the reason I'm his best friend is because he used to do every year this huge party at Pride Parade. And he's not gay. And when people tried to, he'd say no, but he was a big advocate for sex for everybody, not sex, but for
Human rights.
For human rights, man.
Human rights.
For people being married. And I remembered I won't mention a name because he's already passed away, but he wasn't completely out because he's Greek. Greek people don't go out ever. They don't come out of the closet ever. And if they do, they get hammered. Trust me on that one. I know. The word in Greek for a gay person is anomalo, which is a horrible word. I'll tell you why, because I had someone who was an anomalo molest me. That is an anomalo. My friend Jamie, who's passed away now, and his husband mourns his death every year because of cancer. That's not an anomaly. That's a good person who paid his taxes, died with several large $1 million in his account. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how much money he has. He was a good person. Yeah, he was a fantastic person. He was a really good person. That's all that matters to me. Were you a good person? So when this guy said that, that was a straw, but I didn't say anything. I waited till the end. And when he said it, half the congregation went, yeah, and I always say, whenever you're in a room full of a lot of people, the devil will always present himself. Always. He's the first one to boo. He's the first one to talk. He's the first one to laugh in a bad way. Always. Every room you go in, there he is. You'll always.
So what did you do? What did you do? So you went home and you went to pray, all right, for 3 days.
Yeah.
What came out of that? Why was this a miracle?
Well, it's a miracle because I was sitting there, and after church, I handed in my badge that I'm part of the congregation. I said, I just can't be part of it. And he was all too happy to shoo me out the door. And then God told me that I don't know how or what I'm going to do to bring attention to all I know is that Jesus wants me to tell every single gay and trans person that he loves them. Fact. God. And the only way I could bring them to happiness is through pickleball. I can't do anything. I can't change laws. I can't make people, but I can say that if you're in a bad place and everybody hates you.
Pickleball's all inclusive for anything.
Yeah.
Because when we go out there, it's all ages. It's men, women, trans. So all of a sudden, we said it can be gay people too.
Yeah. Well, hold on. It doesn't matter if you play mixed. We play mixed doubles. It doesn't matter if you're playing a guy or a girl, or a guy who thinks is a girl, or a girl who thinks is a guy, or both. It doesn't matter.
Yes,
and here's the best part.
Yes.
In villages we're playing, and here's the best part, because we're playing with people, part of our congregation. They're playing with us. And in our group, there's 2 men that are married, Jim and Pete. And it's ironic that God puts people there. And all I know is that pickleball is an option for people in Greece to play to get healthy. But, if you read the Bible and you listen and you hear that humans are hard-headed, what's that? They got stiff necks. They don't look up. They just look down. And they never see the best thing that's for them until it's too late. So I offer Greeks everywhere to learn this, but every time we go to Greece, I find these young kids or people, even people my age, that just stop believing in God. They just don't believe anymore. And if they do, they go to church and they don't believe. I know because I'm not going to out anybody, but I got friends and that just sin like not sin, do the big ones. And they're like, oh, it's cool. It's what we Greeks do. We gamble, we cheat, we drink. And, but being gay is bad. So that's why I put this.
It's interesting. So what's changed now? Because I know the last time we were talking about you wanting to take pickleball to the Olympics, and I think you managed. You've got that in play now, right?
Yeah. Well, what happened was we stopped playing. What happened was we won a lottery to be in the U.S. Open, and I prayed to God. I didn't want to be in any. I didn't want to play another tournament till God told me. I know this is going to sound off the wall for people listening, but you're talking to a guy who used to do $300 of cocaine a week to $500 a week, and functioning, making $30,000 a week. I was bringing in $30,000 a week. Oops. I'm not proud of it. The money, all of it. It's just a waste of time. It's chaos. So when I'm telling you that I had this message to do this, and then the U.S. Open comes up. But we played, and we would have been beaten by the worst team possible because we just weren't focused. We weren't together. There's something was missing. There was anger. There's a lot of anger inside me. There was. I just would get angry about everything. So she comes up to me since the last time we talked, and she says,
yes,
read the Bible with me. And I said to her, no, even though I'm a Christian. I'm like, no. And then I said, and I'm playing chess. And I'm swearing.
He kept telling me it
swearing.
was good for his losing ability.
It was good for my losing ability.
Yes.
So
that competitive spirit, right?
Yeah. I don't know how
you can't lose.
No, but it's not a bad game, but it's definitely a game where I hate the person immediately before I even play. As soon as I'm playing someone, I hate you. Like, I'm going to beat you. I hate you. Yeah. And in pickleball, I play you and I don't hate you. No. If we're playing and you get a good point at me, I'm like, dude, clearly, wow. Like you smile, you laugh. So it's a completely different because it's one-on-one, not a screen. And if you play chess in person, it's a lot easier and funner too. But online, it's just chaos and hate. So we were playing, yeah. And then I said, why not listen to the Bible? And like literally, it was like watching Game of Thrones. I was like, what?
It was the best. It's the best.
This is the best story I've ever heard. This is amazing. And what? This is like, what? And then I'm like, this is where Star Wars came from. This is where Star Trek came from. This is where every great story came from. They read the Bible and their brains went poof, because that's what it's supposed to do. Reading the Bible is supposed to give you your purpose. Everybody always told me.
So now, okay. So sorry, I'm bringing you back because I want to.
Back anytime you want.
So now you're doing. So now you got the message to. So you're in the U.S. Open team.
US Open. Things change now. Everything is. God moved our timeline up.
Okay, that's for question.
No, I'm telling her. God moved our timeline up from 5 years from now. 2028. That's the nearest Olympics that would possibly do.
Yes.
The U.S. Open. Now, all I could tell you is my dad kept popping up in my head. And my dad used to tell me when I used to go out and I was a good kid, he'd say, show me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. That's the Greeks. And then I remembered that we practice 2 or 3 times a week. And then we go play and like the first game would be good, the second game, then the third game would be awful. And then my coach, Coach Mo, he said, kid, you got to practice 8 times twice you play. And then my father remembered saying, you are who your friends are. So I'm playing against these guys who are 70 years old and just having fun. And they think some days they think they're 5-0 and some days they're happy to be 3-0. Because they're just having fun. And if they stink, who cares? If they have a bad game, who cares? Me, I'm going to get better, and I'm not getting better. So it occurred to me that I'm not getting better because I'm hanging out with them and playing down. Not down, but not playing with her. So for the last 50 days, we've done nothing but train and practice and drill. And our skill level, this is coming from me to you. I'm telling you, I'd be praying to God saying, God, I need a forehand. I don't have a forehand shot. What am I going to do? I'd literally, and then God's like, practice it. Here, go ahead right now, shoot it. And I hit one, it went over the fence. I hit another one, it went sideways. I hit another one there. And then the third one, and then the fourth one, and then the fifth one, and then the 50th one, and now the 100th one. And today, this morning, the 200 shot, down the line, off the corner, out of bounds.
Yes, you see.
And then it occurred to me
Of course.
that God's talking to me. He's like, just listen to me, and I'm going to tell you what to do. But you need to tell every single person anywhere you go that literally that what you do for the least of me, you do for me. Meaning it's not about how much money you got or how great your prayer is or how circumcised you are or how many times you go to church. It's, do you believe in Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior? And are you a good person? Meaning, do you follow him? Because if you follow him, you're going to follow him. Trust me. There's no two-way street about it. And the gay people and my friends and the trans people and LGBT community need to know, because no one's telling them that Jesus loves them. And when they do, they're like, are you out of your mind? You want me to go to church where the same guy told me I'm going to hell? Are you out of your mind? And I'm like, yes, because that's what Jesus did. He went against the grain. It's all of a sudden it occurred to me that when I watched The Chosen, and it always shows fish going this way and 11 fish going the opposite way.
Yes.
Jesus went against the grain.
Yes. So now what are you going to do about it? So how are you going to, because now you're going to use pickleball. So how are you going to take your message with pickleball out into the streets, out into the world?
Now it's in God's hands. So between now and let's just say we'll do another interview May 3rd. Okay. And we'll talk again and see where it is. Because we believe 1000% that whatever happens at the US Open, whether we win 2 games or lose 2 games or win the whole thing, it's literally God's plan. And the higher we go, the more recognition his cause will get, because we live for him, not us. It's for him, not me.
So when's the US Open?
April 21st, Saturday. Is it a Friday or Saturday? It might be a Friday. Friday, my apologies. It's Friday. And here's the best part. At the same time, in Chicago, there will be a tournament that I used to go to all the time for a long lost dear friend that's part of my ex-wife's family and their friends. And it's a basketball tournament for the George Mugalia basketball tournament. And I knew that boy. He used to come over to my house when I first got married. And this is before my life. I remembered following God and in his plan, even though I was scared and I didn't understand God. I was just like, don't do anything wrong. Just follow your parents and what they learned. And I remember every single move I made was successful. I had $100 and I started a business with $500. I borrowed $500 and I started a business with my friend. And within 5 years, I was a multimillionaire, all because of a dream. And I had people tell me, no, you won't. And I had people tell me, you're crazy. And I had people tell me, there's no way you're going to do it. And because
he uses that as motivation.
Because I followed
yes, I think so.
Followed his plan. But when and there's going to be a fork in the road where you get everything you want, and then what? And I got the money, I got the cars and the house.
Yeah, we've been
and
there.
And then what? And then that was a previous marriage. And I followed the money and the sex, which is what.
And the drugs and the alcohol.
But that led to everything, because it's a circle. It's like a nuclear wave of negativity. One bad thing starts another bad thing, starts another bad thing, starts another thing. But here's the best part. There's also something called the rapture, which is joy. The actual word rapture means explosion of joy. I don't think anybody knows that. And when you do something fantastic, where you're so happy, the next person's happy, and then the next person's happy, then the next person's happy.
So what did you do?
Nothing yet.
But surely also playing pickleball, because the way I still haven't gone to play pickleball.
I was going to ask.
I was supposed to do it now, but maybe the next one.
Yes.
Well,
I'm going to find out where you live, and I'm going to figure it out for you.
The best part about it's easy for everybody, and it's a tool. And the reason I'm bringing it up, pickleball, is because it's going to be around for a long time. The prize money just went up to $5 million for the Major League Pickleball. The girl who's the best player in the world, she's 16 years old, and she's grossed over $1 million year to date in the last 2.5 years. The money's there. The sport's there's going to be a lot. Listen, we're just following God's plan and wherever that takes us. Yeah. And here's the best part. you get to hear it first, because right now it's just, you're saying, what have you done? What have you done? And I'm telling you, God's telling me it's coming, and you get to be here first. And actually, if it comes, here's the best thing about my life. If it comes true, which it will, it's God's will and plan. And if it doesn't come true, well, then the non-believers don't believe anyway. So all I can do is win.
Yes, of course. So I'm loving that. But now what I want to say is, how do you know that's God's plan? How do you know God's speaking through you? How do you know that? How do you know it's God and it's not,
Consistent
I don't know, your mind? How do you know?
It is. We get up every morning. What we did, when we gained all the weight from COVID, and when we finally decided to do something. So I'm so happy to say that we're almost, I'm 2.5 years into the first year. I got up, I ran a mile, I did a few sit-ups, I did a few push-ups every day, got on my mat and did all those things. So I'm 2.5 years in now, where I wake up now, I run 2 miles every morning. Nice. And then I do about another 2 hours, because I used to just get on my mat and just do 5 or 10 minutes. And then it just kept building. And I have to say, I'm the strongest, healthiest I've ever been, the both of us. Yeah, and that's all because in the morning, I use that time, we turn on the, it used to be our EDM music and all this kind of stuff. And now we listen to some really great Christian rock or what, I don't know what it is, but I sing around the house and I talk to God and I just see that when I'm in God's house. And it's beautiful to watch. And when you see that and you look outside and you see the blue skies and the flowers and just every little thing, you appreciate that. And so when I get to go play pickleball every morning, all I can think about is, I want this for other people. And, you can't bring that to everybody, but the people that I come in contact with, I'm going to tell them, it's a great day. I get to play pickleball. I've got God in my life. I've got Niko, and just we know that we need other people to feel this. I see now where, the guy on the street corner and he's holding a sign, Jesus or this or that. And it's kind of like one of those things. Once you feel it, you want everybody else to know. And so I think we were so happy with finding God and Jesus. And so then this 2 weeks ago, when this happened with our pastor, it shocked us, because the two people that were our best friends and we went to their wedding, it just hurt me that all of a sudden I didn't know that this was how our church felt about this, because for the last 1.5 years, it's been love. And then you're going to hell. Then they put a butt on it. And anytime you put a butt on something,
don't put a butt on
it wasn't. And so it just hurt my feelings, because I have so many wonderful memories with these people. And I feel like they deserve everything that I'm entitled to. Yeah. And so it's just, all of a sudden we said, wow, we're on a different path.
I don't understand what people think.
I love it the way you see the signs, and it's time to move, because otherwise you wouldn't have moved. I can't feel like I'm a good person.
14 months though.
You
want to hear God's plan? 14 months we're at that church, which brought me to Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
it changed our life.
It changed my life going there. So there's nothing wrong. I don't look at that church like they're evil and doing something wrong. Not in the least. I look at it.
I hope that I can do something.
No. I look at it.
Change their minds.
Wait. I prayed to God about something big, because I can't do it on my own. And how am I going to help? And then your thing pops up that I have to do you today. That's why I texted you yesterday that I can't wait to talk to you, because I prayed to it and he said, do this. Now, maybe this doesn't do anything, or maybe it does, but it's one thing's for sure. I am making a proclamation that this is, because nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares. If you do something and then say, oh, I owe it all to God, they don't care, because you already did it. Call your shot. Do it, Babe Ruth. Do it. I got nothing to lose. I got everything to gain. We are 0-7 as a pro team. 0-7. Our best game was, we lost 14-16, so that was positive. But if we would have played that game over today, we would have won 15-1.
Yes. So now, but now because now you're training and you're focusing.
I'm turning.
You could win this game.
Yeah. It was never me. I'm not here for Niko Fronimos to be great. I'm here to make her great. I'm her wrench. I'm supposed to make, because the last 2.5 years I've been playing, I've been down on her. I've been talking crap. I wasn't a good teammate. And for the last 50 days, it's been, I love you, and I'm just happy to be on this journey with you. And the last couple of days, she's kicking my ass. And I'm playing hard. I've never been playing better. I'm hitting balls that I've never thought in my life. We're playing
but that's exactly how it should be. That's why I told you there's a difference in energy between the two of you, because you holding each other up, you supporting each other, and you're building the relationship.
Exactly.
It's a beautiful thing. And Niko, you like a different person as well, and it shows.
Yeah.
So I prayed a lot. Like, I've been reading the Bible, and I've been like, really, I understand now why I was molested at 13 years old. I understand why this guy touched me, because God wants to use my brokenness and what happened in a broken person to help other broken people. Yeah. That's what God does.
I've always said he's been through practically everything.
And the Bible does that.
Kind of like that are broken. Come and tell him everything.
Yeah, they tell me everything.
That
in
is
5 minutes.
That is a gift he doesn't judge.
We have a history.
Yes, that's the big thing. No judgment.
In my 30s, I was part of my church, and I would go to church. And I would, but I was part of my church, and I knew everybody that was in that area. And then in my 40s, late 40s, I was hanging out with the other element, that were people that were doing drugs, people always like in despair, people always thinking they got short change on life, people that were abused, people that were sexually abused, people that were raped. My best friend, Augie, who started this party and started a lifestyle party, he was abused and molested by his stepfather for years, and his mother didn't believe him. And then you hear all this brokenness, and all these wonderful people that everybody wants to send to hell are just broken people that just want to be happy. And all these Christians who are, me, I'm a Christian, but all the Christians who don't believe that equality and love, you join the big game, and only the people who go through your initiation are allowed in your game. That it's no different than everything else. But what I'm trying to do is go to Greece and play pickleball. And I don't know how or what's going to happen to this. All I knew is I was supposed to come on here and talk about it, and talk about that. And I am going to protect people with their gay rights in Greece. That's for sure. Because when we go there every year, every time we sit down in Mykonos or somewhere, we always get someone, a local, and he's always either definitely not believing in God anymore or gay. And the last guy we had, he was a really wonderful kid. His name was Leonida, and I talked to him 3 or 4 times, and his dream is to sing and dance. And his father don't talk to him because he's gay. His mother still loves him. And you hear these stories, you're like, you hear the brokenness. A father doesn't love his own son, not because he committed a murder, because he's gay. It doesn't make sense.
So we have to, I think then to go back to the beginning is we have to realize that love can conquer all. And people just need to be acknowledged and to be accepted for who they are. It doesn't matter what it is, Everyone has a right to live their lives the way they want to live.
Well, they should. They do, but there's no business. No one has any business to tell anybody else, if you're a Christian, who's going to heaven or not. That's the last.
Well, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know who. And live your life instead of looking at other people.
Love everybody. Guaranteed way to go to heaven. Just love everybody.
Well, I say,
and then when someone comes after you,
I got a lot of love your neighbors.
And listen, I know it sounds crazy, but after all the times that I've tested fate and car accidents that I just miraculously made it through without a scratch, and drug deals, things that I've literally come through, walked home from the hospital 7 miles because I don't have any. And I've literally was like talking to God the whole way. He's like, I saved you, right? I saved you, right? So I have a purpose. It's going to be presented to itself. I know it has to do with equal rights and gay and people, God loving everybody. God loves you. God loves everybody. And by pickleball, hopefully we do something great April 21st. And it blows up because it's not just an event. It's the biggest pickleball event
Well,
because all the pros now have signed with everybody. Everybody's starting to make money. People are starting to pick sides, like what I'm going to do, who I'm going to be with. I'm going to be with this company. I'm not going to do business with that company. Now it's starting to get into a business, and people are still playing and having fun. But I don't need to get people in America to play. I need to get people in Greece to play. And I think the calling for these kids that are not necessarily just gay kids or trans kids, but anybody who's fighting sexual abuse or have had this darkness above them, pickleball is an incredible tool to help you, because it helped me. And you ask where this transformation was. After I lost my dog, I literally had 3 of the most horrifying days of all time. And then the 4th day I woke up after 3 days and I had this calmness, like it's all going to be okay. And a vision came to me of my dog playing in heaven with her grandparents. Wow. And I felt just like, yeah, and I'm going to go pick them up after we're done here.
Well, that's a beautiful way to end this, I think. So remember, love conquers all, and
absolutely.
You know what? Let's just live. Let people live the way they need to live, and no judgment. Just live your life and stop looking and pointing fingers. Yeah. So on that beautiful note, thank you so much, Niko and Christie. Thank you for your time. This was beautiful, and good luck for the 21st. We'll be rooting for you, right?
Thank you.
And for everybody else that you can share the message with.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you soon. Okay. Bye for now.